Welcome guys to the Next Gen podcast. We're Fitz here, and it's a privilege for us to have you here with us. And can you just tell us about yourself, how you get to where you are right now?
So adopted through the system. So I was born in Hastings, moved up here. My family brought me up here in '84. And I've been in Mangere ever since. Mangere is good to me, been good to me. And when I helped my mate start his business, he told me, bro, you should start something for yourself. And something that was dear to me was Mangere. And something that I liked doing was helping people, but I also like business. So I put the two together and created 275, which is something that's dear to me, Mangere. 275 is the first three digits of the landline phone number to Mangere. And it's always been recognized as the digits, and we've always been seen in a negative light as well. So what I wanted to do was rebrand it and just show people who we really are in this area. So wrote 275 out in letters, started the business of barbershop clothing, but intertwined the brand of positive and who we really are. Yeah, pretty much in a nutshell.
Okay, you said that you were adopted through the system and were brought here to Mangere. What was that like what was your childhood like as a result of this? Because that's not something that's quote unquote like normal to go through as a child.
So my mum, who adopted me, couldn't have children after her firstborn, my older sister, and obviously applied for me through the system. Went down to Hastings, brought me up, and yeah, grateful for her. You know, I had a great life, but I didn't find out I was adopted till I think I was 14. And when I look back at it now that I sit in the truth, I've reconnected back with my biological family. I don't know if that was subconsciously just misguiding me, you know, as teens do. I'm not blaming it, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But it's been good. It's been good. I had my life has been great. My teenage era has been great. I did go off the rails a bit. My mum was always there to bring me back. My dad passed away when I was 3, so you know it was only my mum, my 2 sisters, and myself. But yeah, it's been good. Adoption hasn't really taken a toll on me whatsoever. That I think. But where I sit now, I'm all good.
You said you went a bit off the rails in your teenage years. What did that look like?
Just hanging out on the streets, like hanging out at my mate's house on the street, not going home till late, and then doing things like at adolescence, like cigarettes, you know, smoking, drinking, going out, then shoplifting, and you know, just figuring it out. You know, because we didn't come from money, and when you're out there in the hood kicking back with your boys, and then you go and have fun, you might get hungry, and then you know, shoplift just to get by. But you know, that's all part of learning. You know.
What was the turning point? So you go from like what changed for you to come back to?
Oh, I've always been a good kid. I've always been a good kid. Like those were just some bad decisions. You know, but behind it all, I've always been good, so there was really no turning point. But if there was a turning point that sort of corrected a lot of my path, was being a teen parent. I had my first daughter my daughter at 18. So when she was born, I just worked and just supported her. And then there was one time where I loaned $20 off my mate for nappies. And I said, bro, I borrowed $20 for some nappies and I'll pay you back tomorrow. Tomorrow came, paid him back his 20, and then I vouched from that day to never loan for money for my kids again in 22 years now. So, yeah. So it's probably my daughter that helped get me on track. You know, and then go back further, my wife.
So, working as a teen's parent, how is that like? Is it a struggle or do you have any time to even think of not working? You know.
At that time, when you gotta make money to raise your child, you just gotta go work. You know, you gotta go provide. And it was cool, like, you know, because I had a daughter, I was forced to buy my first vehicle. Like, it just forced me to create new things. And in 20, we were out in our first home renting, so we were out young, just learning all these adult things, which was cool. Like, I have no regrets for anything that's happened, because I take it all as learnings. So where I stand and where I talk to the next gen, every single path that you're walking, just try and be observant of what it's trying to teach you. You know?
Okay, so you talked about like all these lessons that you learned along the way. What would you say some lessons are for people who are in their teenage years now, today?
I would say enjoy your youth, enjoy your childhood. You know, once your youth is over, it's over. Majority of your life is an adult. You know, when you're young, that's when you're free. That's when you can just adapt to the world that's moving towards you, if that makes sense. Yeah, no?
Yeah. I was just thinking, because look, I'm turning 20 in like a few months. Have I really been enjoying my teens? Yeah, definitely. And cool. How about young adults? Like, let's say you're in uni or you are trying to find yourself. A lot of young people in this age, we are so consumed by the social media. We don't know who we are. We try to impress people from others. What do you think about that?
So from where I sit today, if you can learn to not... Can I swear on you? If you can learn to not give a fuck about anyone and how you are perceived by other people, you start standing in your authentic self. And once you stand authentically in yourself, you'll start seeing everything open up. Because authenticity is the highest form of like enlightenment kind of thing, you know? So if you are authentic to yourself, you'll start seeing everything open up to you. The world is abundant, everything will start flowing your way.
So what is it like? Is it like spending time with yourself? Just, I guess, being with yourself? What is it like to be authentic to yourself?
Authentic to yourself, like say for example, if your friend suggests one thing and your opinion just moves with what he says, but you're thinking something else and you agree with him, that's not being authentic to you, because you are thinking one way. If you want to wear, if everyone's wearing baggy pants, but you want to wear tight jeans, then wear tight jeans. You know, being authentic to yourself. But there's a fine line with being authentic, because I can see the world is going into trying to be a cat or trying to be a dog. Like, we're humans, right? I know your guys' generation is getting flooded with all the social media stuff about identifying as. Yeah, it's all good to identify as a male or female, or in our language, whawhawhinge, which is trans, whawhawhinge. But when you identify as a cat, you are honestly starting to lose your authentic self, if that makes sense. Yeah. So it's just really digging into, like, doing breath work. Do you do breath work? Have you heard of breath work?
A little bit, but no, me personally.
Yeah. So breath work is when you like at a not at the deepest level of breath work, but if you like just meditation, there's meditation breath work where you can just go sit, breathe, focus on your breath, and all that outside noise disappears, and all you are is just with you. You know, that's when you're sitting by yourself. And authenticity can come from that. That makes sense.
Yeah. You talked about like this lesson that you learned about being authentic. What prompted you to learn this lesson? What experience prompted you?
I think, have you guys seen that everyone's talking about healing? Is there a lot of conversation around healing that you've seen on social media? Is that on your guys' algorithm?
Here and there.
So when we're young, we are taught behaviors from 7 and under that fills into our subconscious mind. Just quickly remind me of the question.
So you talked about authenticity, right?
Yeah.
What experience prompted you to learn that lesson?
Yeah.
To be
So with the healing and that, I went through my healing journey, and that. So what I was saying with, when you are 7 and under, your mind is in a theta state. It's like a dream state. So whatever you see around you is getting filled, and your subconscious mind is getting filled. And as you get older, that subconscious mind is like playing in the back, and that's who you become as an adult. So sometimes, like say for example, if you get triggered from something and you spaz out and you get angry, it's because that's the behavior that you learned or saw as a kid, or it's some way that you felt that you were treated and how you reacted or responded to that situation. So through that healing journey, it's all about unloading all that stuff that you learned along the way. And when you start unloading all the things that you've learned that doesn't serve you, that's how you start coming back to your authentic self. That's what, if you know, so if there's a sponge and it's soaking up all the stuff, it no longer becomes the sponge, it's a sponge plus all this added on stuff. So getting back to your authentic self is removing all that stuff that you soaked up along the way. Then you come back to your authentic self. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong journey.
Yeah, that just sound very, very deep, and yeah, I gotta soak that in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to react to that, because got me thinking. Going back to Mangere, the community. I know you love Mangere, and your whole, I guess, 275 is to bring back the positive in Mangere. And I heard somewhere on social media you are called the mayor of Mangere.
Yeah,
How did they come from? How did they come from?
I think because there's no one at the moment that does speak highly of their community as much as I do. Like, there's a lot of us, but there's not many people that's being seen in the public eye. And just because I'm seen in the public eye and I do things within Mangere, people just throw the title at me, you know. If there was someone else doing it or being seen doing it, then they'll get thrown the name too, you know. So it's like I have a friend out Central, Malcolm, who's doing work for Central. I call him the mayor of Central, you know. It's just you know, those things that you throw around.
Going back to the Rich Dad Poor Dad, because the last podcast we did, the book was also mentioned. What's so special about this book that it just everyone should read it?
I think the straightforward lesson from it, well, there's heaps of lessons. But when you grow up in a community like us, and our parents was sold the dream of come to New Zealand, land of milk and honey, get a job, work 9 to 5, blah blah blah. That's all we've been taught. That's all we know. But Rich Dad Poor Dad teaches you that there is another option. So he's got 2 dads, right? His rich dad was the entrepreneur, and his poor dad was his real dad. Have you read the book?
Yeah, I have.
So, yeah, it's really good. It's just an eye opener, but it all depends. It all depends on where you read it in your life. So I read it at 30. So I already had 30 years of life. So when I was reading it, a lot of the things landed with me, you know. So I don't know what it's like to read it as a 20-year-old, because you don't have some of the experiences that I experienced. But because I read it at 30, it really helped me, like just, I think I even read it older, maybe 33, 34, yeah. But it's a really good book.
Would you say reading that book like ignited your passion for business and entrepreneurship?
I've always wanted a business. I've always wanted a business since I was a kid. Like since I was young, I've always wanted to be a businessman. I even said I want to be a bank manager because I had this thing about money. Like I just wanted money. But as you get older, you realize money's not the thing. Money's only a tool, right? But yeah, I've always wanted a business, and then as I got older, that's when my friend told me, bro, you should start something. And then even helping him start his sunglasses brand, I learned that I couldn't just sell things with no meaning. Like I can't just sell, I'm not a salesman. I have to attach something if I was to sell something. So I created 275, the brand, and then when I started selling merch, I attached the brand of uplifting my community.
So you say money is not the thing; it's only a tool.
Yeah.
So where's the thing that we should live for?
I think that after reading Think and Grow Rich, I think the thing is desire.
Desire.
Desire is what you need. The desire for whatever it may be. You know, you might have a desire to do podcasts. You might have a desire to own a hotel. But whatever the desire is, you aim towards that. And I haven't read it anywhere, but for me, money is always the byproduct of something. You know, if you put something first, your desire, your purpose first, money will trickle from it. You know? And you only use money, like you only use it just to, like this is my experience of my my barbershop when we moved from Adulthood to Mangere. So it was $100,000 to refit it out. I didn't have $100,000, but I ended up having $100,000 because I just used money from here and there. It's only like say for example my builder, I had to only put a deposit. So if I go right back to the start, when I signed for the papers, all I had to come up with was $10,000 for a down payment. Okay, so first things first, don't focus on the whole build, just focus on how do I get $10,000 to sign the papers. Signed it, found $10,000, or loaned $10,000 off a friend of mine, and he said pay it back in 4 weeks. So I knew with the business, I said, oh yeah, sweet, I can pay back in 4 weeks. That was signed. So now the work starts. Got a builder in, the builder came in, free quote, measured it all out. And then when I agreed to the to what he gave me, I think it was $70,000. He said $35,000 deposit. So my next focus was $35,000 deposit, knowing that my old barbershop was selling.
Yeah.
So I knew there was money coming in. So my hustle was now to get this $35,000 to pay him. So rather than focusing on the whole $70,000, just get this out of the way. So once I got that out of the way, I had 4 weeks. I had 4 weeks to come up with the rest. So put it to the side. Following week, was able to pay back the $10,000, paid my mate, and then we had to get the furniture for the inside. So paid a deposit for that. I think the deposit was only $3,000. So paid $3,000 deposit. Then I had to cover the rest in 6 weeks. You know, so it was coming from a container. So what I'm trying to say is you only use the money, like if my mindset was like I can't do it, then I would have already failed and not signed the paper. But because I was like desire, when you have the desire, you just go for it and just keep working on it. Don't let money be the reason why you don't start something.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. You talked a lot about like your passion of business. How would you say you balance your passion for business with your family life?
It's pretty balanced at the moment. I've put on a good 6 years for the barbershop and the clothing store, and also the foundation. So all the steps there is good. Like a business is a business where you don't need to work in it. So I'm very close to not being able to work in it, which gives me a lot more time to start something else, which is my kokoresa side hustle.
Yeah.
But my balance of family is, I always put my family first. And I would recommend, when you have a family, boys, put your family first, especially your kids. Well, you obviously put your wife there too, but with your kids, you've only got a limited amount of time with them. And before you know it, you know. So where I sit, bro, I'm very fortunate in life. My kids are a lot older now. I've only got 2 kids, 15 and 22. And they're a lot older, so even though I don't need to be in the business, they're old enough doing their own things, working, going to school. So when they're off doing their own thing, I'm pretty much free to do my own stuff.
Yeah. So what's your own stuff now?
Training now.
Training.
I'm just focusing on my health.
Yeah.
other than the kokolesa, but I still have to oversee the businesses. There's also our charitable trust work that we do, our community work, our men's stuff, making sure that goes. So even though the business is up and at a place where I don't need to be, or I don't need to put as much energy in it, I still have to put energy into my charitable trust community work, because that's where my heart is. The business we started as a social enterprise, so it was able to support us to do our community work as well.
Tell me more about the community work. What do you guys do?
So we do men's workshops just to help with the healing. So basically everything that I've learned these past 6 years is what I try and implement with the men within Mangere. Because if I'm a product of my environment, there's a high chance that the other products of this environment don't know. So I just try and bring people in, because I'm not a master of what I'm talking about. I have to bring the people who taught me in to help teach these people these things. So it's just men's well-being. We started this thing called 275 Day. You heard of 275 Day?
No.
So 275 Day. So 275 is a Mangere Day. That's celebrated on the 27th of the 5th. So that's 275, 27th of May. And we've inspired 267 Day, which is Manurewa, 274 Day, which is Otara. Manurewa and Otara. And that day is to highlight everything Mangere, all the small businesses, all the organizations. So the people in our community know who our organizations are, and the organizations know who our community is. They know who our not sponsors. They know who our small businesses are, so they know who to support. So it's just trying to build our own economy here in Mangere, working together. And also a platform for upcoming artists to perform. So last year was our biggest year. We had over 10,000, and we had our biggest stage. And then we also included schools. So we had school performances. So it was cool to have these young kids performing on this massive stage in front of all these people.
So give me correct me if I'm wrong. You 275 started the day, or have it always been here?
No, we started it.
You started it?
It's our initiative.
Wow.
So I was inspired from 312 Day. You know Swidit? There's a rap group from Onehunga called Swidit. And 312 is the bus code for them, and they celebrated 312 Day, which is Onehunga Day, 3rd of December. But they didn't celebrate it like how we celebrated it, and I was just like, wow, that's a great idea. Like, how could I make this ours? So I just said, all right, 27th of May, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna involve these people. And then we started small in our barbershop. Then we expanded to the art centre. Then we grew to the courtyard, and then the car park for a couple of years. And then last year was like massive as car park. So at the moment, I'm trying to think of the next location and how to fine tune.
What was the biggest challenge doing this organization with 10,000 people?
Money, bro. Resources.
Yeah.
So the idea was there, the desire was there. So I was just like, look, this is all about community. So I reached out to community. I reached out to small local businesses. I said, hey, this is what we're doing. We're looking for sponsors. How can you help? Some people could give 1,000, some gave 10. Then we'll apply for funding. Then we got a bit of funding. So it's just putting all this work together. There's a bit of admin that goes to it. So it might be a massive day, but a lot of the work is the admin in the background. If everything in the background is smooth, everything will just fall into place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the resources, bro.
You talked about like your next steps being to prioritize your side hustle as well as your health. What prompted you to prioritize your health? Was there like a health scare?
So I'm on dialysis. I've been on dialysis. Do you know what dialysis is? When you use a machine to clean your blood because your kidneys no longer work. So I've been on dialysis for 10 years. So I've had a health scare for a while. And I've been okay. Like, I've been pretty good with my eating. I haven't had any more health scares. But I told my son, 2026, bro, we're locking in. And then Secret Santa came and my wife got me for Secret Santa. So she got me a lock-in kit. She got me a couple of new books, new gym gear, gym shoes, and also a 16-week challenge that I signed up with Freedom Fit. This also named Nova. But because I've signed on, and because I don't no longer have to put a lot of energy to work, I can put a lot of energy into really focusing about myself.
Yeah. So what did you talked about this experience? What did this experience teach you? What did you learn from it?
Which experience?
Like just the health scare, like having to log in.
Oh, I think. Oh, locking in, like, health is rough. You can have $1 million worth, $100 billion, whatever it may be. But if you don't have your health, what's the point?
Yeah.
So we have to focus on looking after our health first. And you also know that the pharmaceutical industry's all about,
Yeah.
So during the lockdown, what industry went? Because they make money off us being sick. So we have to make sure that we look after ourselves. That was just a little side piece. But we have to make sure we look after ourselves, because everything that we do comes from us being 100%. So it's fill your cup, pull from the overflow.
So, tell me about, so if I'm a teenage and I haven't been doing much exercise at all for my entire life, and 2026 this is my goal. Where should I start?
Start by walking.
Okay.
Start by drinking water. Start, I don't know if he's vape, but start by throwing the vape out, Start, actually, rewind. Start by what you put into your mind. So if you are on your phone, make sure you watch some things that is good for your mind to help you start, executing. But you have to fill, so I think the order of it is to fill your mind with it, speak it, and then action.
That one, that's powerful.
That's our goal, guys.
Feel it, put it in, and action. Wow, that's so powerful.
Should we do a quick fire round?
Quick fire, oof. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Can I just cover? Oh no, yeah, let's go.
Okay. Favorite workout?
Favorite workout at the moment? Walk.
Oh,
10K walk, bro. 10,000 step walk.
What's the season? Favorite season?
Favorite season? Winter.
favorite kid?
Favorite?
Favorite kid?
Favorite kid? No favorite kid. Favorite kid, I might, I might know nothing, but no favorite kids.
Apple or Samsung?
Definitely Samsung, bro.
Why is that?
Well, have you seen the studies? Have you seen the Instagram studies?
What? Tell me about it.
Apparently, the people who use iPhone are the ones that follow trends. And they just follow the upgrades.
Guys, I think I need to find my authentic self. Because I use it.
But at the end of the day, I've always just used Android. It was just easier for me, That was it. And then even the new iPhones came out, I'm just like, phone's a phone at the end of the day, Phone's a phone at the end of the day.
Lamborghini and Ferrari.
Ooh, Lamborghini.
Why so?
Why so? I think they look better, bro. I don't know.
Okay.
To each their own.
Yeah, I think it's because, bro, to be honest, I don't even know, bro. I would prefer, I don't know, Lamborghini, Quickfire.
So, of all the businesses you have started, what was the one that's most challenging?
Most challenging would be, I would say that new one I'm starting, Kopolesa, food product. Yeah.
So why was it challenging?
So it's a niche product. So Kopolesa is similar to the rice pudding, and it's a Samoan dessert breakfast / food product. But I'm just trying to get it out there, especially when I launched it. I launched it in November, but it's summer, so it's in order to cook it, you have to boil it. So it's a good winter food, but it's hard to push up during the summertime. But at the moment, I'm trying to elevate it in a way where you can use it as like a pre-workout, so you can cool it down, have like overnight oats type style. So it's just trying to elevate it, but also just trying to see how I can, you know. But the food, for me, the food industry at the moment, because I'm so new to it, it's a difficult one.
If you're in our shoes, we are 20 years old with pretty much not much of a saving, and we want to start a business. What step can we take to start?
You have to start with what you currently. I know it might not make sense, but you have to start with what you have. So you have to also. You have to also just the key to business for me is start and action, whatever that looks like. So what is it that you want to do? Do you know?
With a podcast.
Podcast?
Yeah, content creation.
So content creation, and you've started. So what's the next step for it? Like, what do you want to do after this? Like, where do you want this podcast to go? Do you know? Do you have a vision?
Yeah.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah, do you see the vision?
So you're the visionary.
Looks
We're
like
all the visionary.
You're the visionary. So
But yeah, sure.
there's the vision. When you write your plan or write a business plan out or something, write backwards. So this is the vision. How do you get there? How do you get there? How do you get there? All the way to where you are now. So this is the starting point. You're already over here without even thinking about it. You just started.
What was your vision when you were starting out to the 275? Was that just a positive, or is that anything else?
So my whole thing. So God spoke to me when I went to this church. I only went to this church twice. God spoke to me at this church, and the voice said to connect my community, because over the time, Mangere was slowly, you know, like, I wouldn't say segregating, because that's not the word. It's like just no longer becoming a community, you know. So just from, like, say for example, from a community of South Auckland, and it went into these from one community of South Auckland, or say, break it right down. From one community of Auckland, then it split up into South, North, East, West. Then South got split up into Papa Toitoi, Rapakura, like, split up. Then Mangere was there, then Mangere got split up to Mangere East, Mangere Central, Mangere Bridge. And then within Mangere East, it'll split up itself. So when I visited on my first trip to LA, I went through Inglewood, and I ended up talking to these guys. And we were talking to them, and they were Crips, young Tongan Cripsters. And they were talking about these bloods that live on the same street, or like, this is where we were. There were some bloods down here. If the bloods needed to come to this side, to the shop, they had to go right around. But that's their lifestyle, and I was like, man, in my mind, I don't want Mangere to be like that. That was my thought over there. Then I came home, and then one of these guys got shot up in Mangere East. He was a blood, and he got shot up by another blood. And when he passed away, his team put up some bandanas and memorial pieces on the post. And then I grew up in that area too. I was a kid growing up in that area at my auntie's house. And when I drove up to the intersection, my nephew looked out and he goes, "Oh, uncle, what's that?" Then my son, who was 10 at the time, he goes, "Oh, someone got shot." But the way he said it, it was just like, "Oh, someone got shot." Like, those words didn't even come out my mouth when I was a kid. So when I was 10, those words didn't come out. 20 years later, my son is 10, and he's saying, "Oh, someone got shot." Where is our community gonna be in another 20 years? You know, is it gonna be like the experience I had in Inglewood? So all of that, like, all of my life experiences helped me just go, yeah, with that voice that spoke to me, like, yeah, all right, I need to connect my community and just bring our community together. And the other thing that really sealed the deal was I applied for a trademark for 275. And the day the trademark email came to me that it was accepted was when the Muslim mosque shooting in Christchurch happened. So we set up at the Polyfest, and that was my first original t-shirt I sold. Then the Polyfest shut down because of the mosque shooting. I went home, looked at my email, and then 3:15, I got a message. And 3:15, if you think about it, it's 275. So it's 2 plus 60 minutes and 15 minutes. It's 275. So 3:15, I got this email that said that my trademark for 275 has been accepted. And then all these things just said, you know, this is what I gotta do. This is my business, but this is also my purpose, just to help elevate, but let Mangere know or remind Mangere who we are. You know?
How do you think we can find our purpose in life, especially for young people?
I think don't try and force a purpose onto you. Your purpose will come when it comes. Like, it could even come when it's 60, you know? But what you have to do in life is just learn as much as you can, heal yourself, find your authentic self, but your purpose will land when it lands.
Before we start rolling, right? You mentioned to us that you're starting to learn all these words that I don't even know because I don't study business. Tell me about that.
So there's honestly things that we don't get taught. So if you look at these millionaires and billionaires, you have to ask the question, what did they do to get there? What secrets do they know? And one of them in business especially is how your business is structured. And where I'm at now, so I started as a sole trader. So actually I started under the table, not being seen. Because once you're seen by IRD, this is what they don't teach in business school. So once you are seen by IRD will try and get some type of money from you, whether it's $300, $150. And as a new business, someone who has no money, like you said, as a new business, you won't even have enough funds to pay that. So don't take this as advice, but this is what I did. I was under the table for a year, just building up under the table for a year. And then when I knew I had something that was good for me, that I could start being seen by IRD, I created a sole trader. And then through that sole trader, because there's other types of expenses, other tax rates when you are a sole trader to when you're a business as well, limited liability. So then I was 2 years as a sole trader. After that 2 years, I knew, okay, it's time to elevate. If we really want to scale this and elevate this, we need to become a limited liability. So we became a limited liability. Then with all of that, because you still have to have insurances and stuff as a business. Building insurance, business insurance, all types of insurance. And then I was doing that. And then 6 years later, I'm here now where I'm learning more about holding company. So you have a holding company, and within that holding company, you can split your businesses up, or your business can be trading as, from what I understand. So 275 clothing, 275 barbershop, it's all one entity at the moment. But in order to really understand where your finances are coming in, or your profit and loss, you really need to see where you can make the adjustments. And in order for me to do the next step, I need to split clothing and split barbershop, so I can see the clothing profit and loss and see the barbershop profit and loss. Because at the moment it's all just one. Yeah. And then I'm still learning to, no advice here about anything but the holding company, and then you can just trade under different businesses. And then that holding company is where you send your profits or something. I'm still figuring out, I'm still figuring it out.
So was ChatGPT your best friend figuring all this out?
ChatGPT is really good. You gotta get the paid version, not the free
paid version.
Yeah.
Paid version, guys.
Yeah. Paid
Paid
version
sponsored.
ChatGPT.
Was it the $20
$20 a month, yeah.
Yeah, $20 a month, ChatGPT, the best investment.
USD, bro.
Never mind. $40 NZD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's good. Google can do the work, but once you just sign up to ChatGPT, you can just treat it like your Iron Man and blah 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 blah. Yeah.
So, you mentioned a couple of books, Rich Dad and Poor Dad, and also Think and Grow Rich. Is reading always in your hobby?
Nah, bro. Reading's not in my hobby, but watching podcasts, watching docos, is my thing. Watching interviews, people doing interviews, that's my thing.
How were you able to learn from all these resources? Like, is that like a way I'm gonna note this down, or I just remember what I read, I'll watch?
Someone can say 100 words to you and you'll remember maybe 7. Those are the 7 words that you're supposed to know. You're supposed to learn, you know. You could read the whole book, 10 chapters, but you'll take out the gems that you're supposed to know. That's why some readers suggest that you read the book more than once, because you'll go back again and you'll learn something that you didn't learn the first time you read it. And just like watching a movie, you'll learn something again. So if you read it once, so I read Rich Dad Poor Dad twice. I read it once, that helped me get going, and then read it twice, and that kept me going. So, you know, when I read it the second time, it was like financial statement. Like, you gotta understand financial statement. You know, and I was like, okay, learn that stuff.
So it's really at that point of life what you can absorb, and you're gonna absorb what you, what your life resonate. Yeah, what you resonate.
Yeah, don't force anything on yourself. Like, you know, your mind is the most powerful computer in the world. It'll pick up what it needs to pick up. So if you're gonna feed it crap and read crap and watch crap, you're only gonna put in crap. So it's all about just elevating that frequency slowly, and then try and keep it up.
Yeah. What is like a usual like day in the life for you? Like, what's your routine?
So I can only speak about this week because this is my new routine. So
it's a new year. We all have New Year resolution.
yeah.
That's Kevin.
And these are also some of the things that I've learned over time that I'm now implementing because of this challenge. So part of this challenge, you need to do a thing called 10 by 10. So you got to do 10 things before 10 a.m. So, yeah, it's not big. So you could include brush your teeth. So I'll wake up. I won't even make my bed. I'll wake up. I'll go straight outside and I'll ground myself. That's 1. And then I'll do breath work outside. That's 2. And I'll do a small stretch. You know, whatever this is. You know, waking up your lymph nodes or whatever. And that's 3. Then I'll go in. I'll take my hay fever pill and have a glass of water. 4. And then I'll go wash my face. 5. Cold water in the morning is always good. Go make my bed, tidy up, and then I'll go for my 10,000 steps. Then I'll do my 10,000 steps. I'll come home, make breakfast, prep lunch, prep my snack, have a read, emails, and then shower. That should be done by 10 o'clock. That's only because it's a new routine. And because my body's waking up to the sore muscles as well, I just cruise. But I can prolong that because I don't need to be anywhere. You know, I've done 6 years building 275 barbershop and clothing store where it can run on its own. I've got a team there that can look after it, and then I'm able now to look after my health. So, you know, that's the first time that I've had the structure
And locked in.
yeah. So on an average day before, I'll just wake up, have a shower, get ready, work. You know, breakfast on the go, coffee's gone. You know.
So what's your goal for your physical health? Is there like a goals that you try to achieve?
So the only thing I went into this with for the outcome is strength and mobility. Nothing else. I'm not worried about abs, I'm not worried about big muscles. Strength and mobility, because that's all we're gonna need when we're on the other side. you know, not on the other side of the spiritual realm, but
I think I know what
you
you
know,
mean.
on the other side, when we start hitting 60, 70,
Yeah.
we want to be able to have that strength and that mobility, because that's all that's going to matter down that end. Because if you guys are going to keep pursuing this path that you, like this path that you're going in, money and wealth is going to come, because you guys look like go-getters. But nothing of that is going to matter if you don't have strength and mobility.
Yeah.
You know, what's it going to be when you can go chill on a fancy yacht or pay your family to go on a holiday and
Can't
you're
even
sitting,
get up the
you're
stairs.
sitting there like, oh yeah, your wife's pushing you onto the plane, like, you know, and you're only 50.
Guys, over there. Have you done your exercise today? Yeah. Go for a walk. Go for a walk.
But if there is anything that I can leave you with within the fitness thing, is something that I've learned is 3 non-negotiables. Non-negotiables. So my non-negotiable is to do my workout, 10,000 steps, and have my proper daily water intake. Non-negotiable. So if you wake up sick and you got 10,000 steps, you have to walk 10,000 steps sick. That's non-negotiable. Grateful that I haven't been sick, but that's the real test.
Yeah, okay. So you worked really hard to get to where you are now. How do you make sure you keep yourself grounded whilst pursuing further things and not getting like taken off track?
Just sticking to the plan. Core values. So there's also, that vision. You've got your mission, but you've also got core values. If whatever you do doesn't align with your core values, then you don't do it. That's it.
I think that one you just said is, out of this conversation today, what I would get the most. I remember that 7 word, maybe 6, 7 word that you
No, 6, 7 count on this video.
that you say. Just understand our core value, and it helped me to think as well. What's the podcast core value gonna be? Yeah.
You have to. So when you get guests on here, if your guests don't align with your core value, then, and that's like business. If someone might come with you with $1 million to partner with you, but if it doesn't align with your core values, then don't do it. It's like when all these influencers, some are getting offered these big bucks to offer gambling, but it doesn't align with who they are, because deep down inside they got these morals and core values. So
Thank you very much for that. If I was really gonna go home and have a cold shower and think about it and be like, stoicism, or no.
Locked in.
no, that's the one, bro. That's the one. So even stuff like this, like how you're like joking about it, like you know very well that what you're saying works, but you disguise it with humor, because that's what we do. Like, if you were in your authentic self, you'll stand strong. I'm gonna go home, have a cold shower, and I'm just going, You know what?
He does that. That's him.
Yeah, the humor self is really the top.
Nervous? Is it nerves?
No, I'm just not that tough. For now, give me 2026, bro.
Yeah,
By the end of this year, I'll have cold shower, but shaking myself.
Nice, bro. Nice.
If you were to do what we are doing, and do you have any advice that we could improve the podcast, or what should our, values, as we talk about, what should they be?
I think I can't give you your guys' values. You guys need to come up with your values yourselves. But always, you guys will know what you need to do when you go back and rerun and look at what it is. Something will stick out from this interview again that you've missed. And having your niche and trusting your vision is the main thing. So if you have this vision for this podcast, there's a reason why the vision was planted. Because it can exist. So it's now there in the mind. Speak it out, which you've spoken to me, but you need to continue to speak it out, and then action. And then you're guaranteed, but you just got to be patient. And the 2 things that I've learned in business is patience and persistence.
But us as human, we always want to rush. How?
What are you rushing for?
Life is finite.
But why are you rushing? What's the rush?
I'm not trying to get to.
You're absolutely right, but there's also reality. Reality only works a certain speed. So the vision that I have for 275, so when things happen for me at 275, they go, like 275 day when I saw 10,000 people, and then people go, bro, how do you feel? As the visionary, you've already visualized it. So I was here 3 years ago.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So reality only works at a certain speed to what's in your mind. So slow down. Just let reality do its thing. Let the physical realm do its thing, and it'll eventually catch up.
So what's your vision now? You already did the 10,000 people 275 day. What's what you're
next?
seeing now that is gonna happen in a couple of years?
At the moment, I need to solidify 275 as a major brand, because that major brand is what's going to help build Mangere, this Mangere. I visualize Mangere as a good place, a better place. I want to put more money back into, because if the government's cutting funding here, that helps uplift our community, we need to bring some other type of resources in.
Yeah.
So I'm working on building this so that I have this exposable income to clean up my community, you know? So we don't need to be reliant on government funding. But the vision will, will slowly grow as it grows. Multi-million-dollar brand for the clothing, multiple stores for the barbershop. Not multiple as in global, maybe 3 or 4, not many. Couple of more shops. The shop, our clothing store, we want all the Mangere brands in there.
Yeah.
At the moment, our shops can't even fit our own stuff in there. But I want a bigger shop. So if you go to Queen Street Foot Locker, you've been in there?
Yeah.
So the size of that. So I want a shop the size of that that'll fit all the brands of Mangere. Because there's so many entrepreneurs in Mangere that's got clothing brands. But in order to come into that shop, you need to have reached a certain level. You need to have your business trademark, just so that if you're coming in, we help you elevate and where you need to be, so that when we open another clothing store, we can just move all those brands with us.
My question is, you've been working to help uplift the community for 6 years. Tell me one story that stick out to you that you helped that one person or that one business.
I'm not too sure. There's no standouts, because when you do things just to do things, it's not like I'm expecting a return on it, so I'm trying to remember, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just doing it just to do it. And I have a really bad memory too. Like someone could bring up a memory and then I'll go, oh yes, that's right. But my brain power isn't there to remember the good things I do, if that makes sense. I'm trying to use it to try and
Just
project forward, not. But no doubt that whatever I've learned or whoever I've helped within this space, I've learned, which will make it easier for when we move forward. But there's no standouts. Like we've helped with some floods. I've helped the family there. Oh, there was one flood family that I helped, but I helped them by accident when I went to go do a delivery for my merch. So if you're in Mangere, I normally deliver it myself, and I saw all this stuff out there, and I go, bro, did you guys flood in this area? Because we were doing flood relief with Iron Mangere, and we didn't touch the street because we weren't told. I go, were you guys flooded? He goes, yeah. I go, are you guys all good? He goes, yeah, we're all good now. I said, who's the worst flooded? And he pointed to this house across the road. And then I went to the house across the road, and no doubt their whole house was empty. And they couldn't speak English. They were Samoan, and fortunately I'm Samoan. And fortunately I had some Samoan in my head, so I translated enough where we were able to kick them out. with some furniture and stuff. But this was through connecting with Butterbean, Dave Latele. Butterbean also with Malcolm's Collaboration Central to help fill their house. So that's something cool that I like, where it was just connecting the dots, you know. No credit was needed. It was just help this family get off their feet and get up. And that's it. But it's been cool. It's been a cool journey. Same as our 275 basketball, like helping our youth, our kids. It's been cool. Like, I haven't really noted down what we do, but it's been good.
So you talked about your basketball venture and like helping out the youth. Why basketball?
So basketball actually started from a guy named Leon Henry. Leon Henry was an ex three-peat Breakers basketball player, and when he retired, he's from Mangere, and he wanted to give back to the community of Mangere, the less fortunate. Then he reached out to me, and then we started this thing called 275 Basketball. And then we just started this thing, and then he had to go off again because he came out of retirement and went and started playing basketball again. So his time was all done. So we carried on, but fortunately we linked up with coaches, other coaches that can do it, and it was free. So when we do stuff, we always try and make it free, because you can pay, but then you miss out the vulnerable, and the vulnerable is who we're trying to capture.
Yeah. Do you have anything else? Cool. No. It's such a great conversation that you have, and really appreciate the place, the environment, and your time to be on the podcast. And we have one final segment is that we always invite our guests to, I guess, ask us a question as the Next Gen podcast host. So do you have a question for us? Wait, you can't ask anything, like you can't ask what do we see ourselves in the future, because many people ask that already.
Okay.
So beside that.
If you guys had to say something that you have been holding back to your parents, what would it be? Or what is it?
I have to say something that was holding back on my parents.
Well, are those the right words? Is that how to frame the question? If there is something that you could say to your parents that you want to say but haven't said, what would it be?
I mean, I try my best to, I guess, tell them, but I just really want to know them to know how much I appreciate their support and help in my life. And as an international student myself, the fee is quite significant, and they've put in so much work that in the other side of the country, and I know that they have put in so much work, and just the appreciation that I have for them is, I can't describe it in words, but I just wanted to know how much I really appreciate it. That was my little.
For me, it would probably, like, it's not something that I can like really say, but it's just something that can like make them truly believe that like I'm the product of their work, and I'm like, you did a good job. And same like with my family as well. There was long periods of time where my dad went overseas to work, and we wouldn't like during like childhood. So a lot of like my fundamental memories, like the subconscious memories he talked about, didn't involve him to as much of an extent that my mom was involved in. So like your hard work was noticed. It was there, and like you're super cool, man.
So can I give you a challenge?
Yeah.
So you'll have to ring your parents, right? Do you live with your parents?
Yes.
So if I give you a challenge that you guys need to tell your parents this, hey,
Cool.
all good?
We'll film it. We'll send it back to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have it done by Sunday night.
Very
Yeah.
All good? Yeah,
Thank you,
that's a
Mom.
challenge.
Thank you very much.
Half the challenge is getting him on camera.
Don't just send them this too. Don't just send them this and that.
You hear that? You hear that?
No, that's good. That's good. Like what we have to learn as youth as well is just to speak our mind. Conversation, especially to our adults, our parents, it plays a big part in who we become. And you also have to remember that your parents only want the best in you. So if you hear them saying something that you don't want to hear, even though you don't like it, their intention is for your betterment, you know? Before you start getting angry at them, you don't know. But, you know, parents keep that bond, keep that relationship, keep the conversation going.
Well, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe. Yeah, subscribe, comment down below, everything, every question.
Yeah, what's something you learned from this conversation?
What's the 767 word that you learned? Seriously. Yeah. Goodbye, guys.